that was not the case, I would not have started it. There would have been no reason for me to say I want to do something that I thought was not going to happen. I knew we will make it, and we will do what we thought was very necessary to be done in this country. Yes. The organization that I joined at my very young age, that I worked for many, many years, that I even went to prison for, very young age, that I worked for many, many years, that I even went to prison for and spent 10 years, 6 months. I also went to exile and stayed there for 14 and a half years, fighting for the liberation of our people. For me, it was not acceptable that a party that I joined, and which was a particular party in a particular time and doing an important thing to liberate black people who had been oppressed for so many years, I couldn't take it that such a party could be made to look like the party that it never fought for freedom. It was now almost equivalent to people saying, let us kill this party now. And whilst I was still alive, I could not allow it, because my belief in freedom and participating in freedom was not just something like a hobby that I'm just doing it for the sake of it. It was a serious matter for people who have been oppressed, who have been killed, who have been arrested, who have been given every other thing. It did not make sense that an organization of that nature was now the ones that was doing the opposite of what it was supposed to do, to liberate people, complete freedom. And therefore, if I said I don't worry about it, I would have been joking over the years, going to prison, going to exile. Why I would stand and say, sorry, they're just doing it. Yes. Shame. Mine was that I need to talk to the people of this country, to say, let us not allow our party to be utilized against us, and just we sit, we look, we just talk, small little talk, because what, in my view, since freedom, there has been just small talk about our freedom. Because everybody was seeing that we're not yet free. So why I would say I was born and I fought, but I said, no, now I can no longer fight. When people I called comrades were now turning into something else. Yes. And it was my duty. And it would be my duty until I die.
What is that perfect example of them turning to something else that you witnessed and thought, let me go and start my own party?
No, firstly, ANC became a corrupt organization, not the whole organization, particularly those who were in key positions. They did not talk about how do we proceed to conclude our struggle to be a fully fleshed kind of organization and the country. I'm sure there are many, many things we can talk about. for an example, for an organization to sell the companies of the country without talking to us whether these should be sold or not. And it was quite a lot of things that happened. In a sense, the black people were still suffering.
Yes.
If I talk about the government companies, I'm talking about companies that are supposed to be utilized to take starvation, poorness, everything we can think of, so that we can say, we could also say, we are moving towards taking over or becoming part of the economy of the country. Instead, this government was selling the economy to white people in the main and making us starve forever.
Yes.
I think that says it
Yes.
to some degree, what were the problems.
Yes. When you announced that you were going to vote for MK and that you're going to lead MK, you also said that you are doing this to fix the ANC. Now, my question is the MK a temporary arrangement, or it's going to be a permanent feature in our politics?
MK is a permanent feature. MK is the party of South Africans who think alike, who saw the necessity for us to do what we did.
Yes.
So there isn't a difficulty in what I said, that we are doing this in order to rescue the ANC, and those were my words at the beginning, to rescue the ANC. In other words, to rescue the ANC, which was being abused, turned into something we don't know. I did not say I disagree with the policies of the ANC. I took a vow to die for them. But the leaders at this time were no longer doing that.
Yeah.
We're doing everything as favors of white people, business people, you can call it in many ways. So if I had said, I'm leaving the ANC, I think I would be not telling the truth about the organization I have taken a decision to die for. And I could not just emerge and say, I'm starting this organization out of nowhere and say nothing about what are the reasons.
Yes.
The reasons were that this organization was being killed by some people. And I was not saying the policies of the ANC were wrong, no. In other words, I was saying those who are supposed to implement the policies were no longer implementing those policies. And that's why I use the word, our establishing this organization is to take over the country and therefore rescue the policies of the ANC so that we are able to deal with what we had put as the policies that we were ready to die for, to liberate our people. And that was the way.
No,
And that's why I said to rescue the ANC. In other words, to rescue our people from being sold out by people who took a vow to defend them, to free them.
Now that you have this new vehicle, the permanent features going to rescue our people, why do you appeal your expulsion from the ANC if you've got a new vehicle that is going to rescue South Africans from the ANC?
Why? It is just precisely what we are saying. The ANC is failed. We are putting a new kind of power that is going to free our people. And therefore, we rescue our people from poverty, from every other thing you can think of.
I'm asking about you appealing your expulsion. Why is it important to remain a member of the ANC when you have
Oh, I now hear you. I hear your question. What's the end goal? Is to rescue the people of this country.
No, I'm talking about the membership. Keeping the membership. Why is it so important?
It's part of me saying, in other words, if I want to tell you, the African National Congress was established by the ancestors, all Africans, leaders in this country, to rescue and liberate our people. That's a very serious matter. Yes. Now, if you have that, you have now people who are leading this organization, changing the way from this organization was established for. Now, working with the whites, being told by the whites what to do, being told not to, don't worry about operation, oppression. Don't worry. It is nice when the whites are having the land, when they're having all the businesses, when they are staying in cities, when we stay in the bushes, when we've got no roads in our places. There's no any place where there are whites, there's no tarred roads. With us, there's nothing. We took a decision, very clear. And if our people are not moving with that one in order to make a clear point that we are now free, we are no longer living in the what are these little houses you have in the townships?
RTP houses.
I'm not LP, not that one, not that one. And I'm talking about
Shacks.
Shacks, that's a point. Why should I say I should die seeing these people living in shacks? The shacks have been more or expanding in many places. Instead of being put away, proper houses being brought. Now, if I said, I'm leaving the ANC now, everything, right? If I said so, I would be saying what about the policies, the views, not necessarily the views, but the decision that was taken by the black leaders to liberate ourselves. If I say now, I'm forming, I know people form parties generally, but there isn't a debate about the issues that made us to start fighting. Even when we are many parties, we are all oppressed, we want to be free. We say, no, I leave you, I go there, I form my party. Others don't say much about it. You just have a number of parties. In other words, I would be saying the ancestors were wrong. Yes. I'm now abandoning what the ancestors asked us to do. Because this is their organization. It's not the organization of people who are ruling it now. That's why I will remain on the views and the policies that are there to liberate our people. But I did not want to confuse people as if there is something else. Because it's the same thing that our ancestors put across. And I would stand there. And in other words, I was saying, once we take over, we're going to remove the people who are running that organization of our ancestors this time around. and take it back to us.
How do you
To
remove
where?
them when you are in the MK and they are in the ANC?
No. We are not going to be equal in the MK. We are taking the country as an MK. We would take the country, be running the country.
Or you remove them from government, not from the ANC?
Of course, if they want to be the ANC of theirs, which was not the one I know, it's a different matter. For me, the issue was that we must rescue, in other words, the organization of our ancestors that is being put aside by people who are leading it now. That will be our team, and it stands, by the way. It stands. We become the majority, right?
Yeah, my follow-up is going to be, when is that going to happen?
Mana, lalela. Once we take over the country, we're in charge, right? One of the things we'll do will be to honor our ancestors by putting back the ideas they put and policies they put. We'll take over from the ones who are selling out, right? Now, if you were doing so, sitting away, the Tani ANC, but this is our ANC, and I would have no way to answer or to argue that this is my ANC. I now need to take everything. Ngizwa kahle ba?
Take back.
Mana lalela ungabuzi. Kusaqhasa. If I was not the member of that organization, it would be very difficult. But they say, what do you want from our organization? And that would be the end of the debate. I want to remain there as a member, but I would never vote for them. I'm remaining there deliberately so that I have an opportunity to take over that organization, even if it is not the name. Because if I'm a member, they're not going to say, why are you coming to argue here? Because I'm going to say, you actually deviated from what our ancestors said. Mine is to take you out so that we take because our views now and the views of the ancestors are the same. But the views of the ANC and the ancestors is not the same. I was not saying I must have this party because I love the party. Mine was to maintain the same thinking of liberating our people. I will fight it better when I am in the ANC because I will be a member. I will be arguing what I argued from my childhood. And I did not want to allow them to take it and take our party. That's why I use the word, is to rescue the ANC. So the point I'm making, my brother, is that my saying I belong there does not necessarily say I support it. But it also says, it's like if I make some simple thing. If I had a revolver and I'm fighting, I now take a bazooka. And I'm not losing my gun.
You can use it at a later stage.
Huh?
You can use it at a later stage.
I'm saying so, no, ngizoyithatha kubona, not ukuthi ngiyancenga.
Yeah.
I was making them to say I disagree with their practice, with the manner in which they are implementing the policies. I disagree with them. And I can't continue with them when they're doing wrong things. I told them. Right? So I take another gun to use it to defeat the enemy. And if need be, to defeat them with. Because I'm not disagreeing with our ancestors. I agree with our ancestors 100%. They are moving away from it. And I must defend it. So it's not like I would leave them everything, the ANC, everything.